All right. Hello. Good evening. Please come in and have a seat. Oh, we have to do the knock part. Please come in and have a seat, except you're already sitting, so it's fine. Come in.
Hey.
How are you today?
Good.
Okay.
Okay. Well, hello. Good evening. Please come in and have a seat. You're going to sat. Good. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the location, the restrooms are located just down the hall. There's also a drinking fountain right outside the restroom, so should you need a break for water or anything else, we have reserved this room and the one next door in order to speak with each other privately for caucusing. I'm going to ask you that you please turn off any cell phones or pagers to avoid interruption, but you guys already have just pieces of paper in front of you, so you're fine. Your social media devices are gone? Yeah?
Yep.
Yes? Good. Should an emergency arise, please let me know. Please keep in mind you are both here as on a voluntary basis. Should you feel the need to discontinue the mediation, you feel free to do so. First and foremost, I would like to thank you for being here today and trusting me as your mediator. Please allow me to introduce myself. For those of you, my name is Rachel Riley. You can call me Rachel. Just to reiterate, I am not biased towards either party. I do not recognize either of you. Do you recognize me?
No.
Nope.
Perfect. Are both of you comfortable with the room settings, such as temperature, light, seating?
Yep. Get with blanket.
Perfect.
Okay.
Good. Everyone's snug as a bug. Good. Now, are both of you capable of coming to a decision regarding a solution to the issue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you make this decision appear appropriate and fair for both sides?
I think so.
You think so? Yes? Okay. I will now give you my opening statement, which will contain what to expect and what to anticipate from your mediation. I will then ask for both of you to read me an informal opening statement telling me what you think I should know in order to help this mediation run smoothly. You're both entitled to claim your opening statement in whatever way you please, as well as presenting your case in whichever way you please. I am simply here to serve as a third party should you need me to step in while discussing your conflict. You may write your thoughts and other parties down if you wish. All information you choose to disclose with me is and will be completely confidential and will not be shared with either party or any other individual. Additionally, any information discussed between both parties, both of you, will be confidential. I will not be giving either party advice in order to keep things fair. I will again only serve as your mediator, helping you to come to a decision. We are here today to discuss an issue between both of you, daughter and mother. We will remain in this session until a resolution has been made. Either side can begin with how they feel about the issue and what you'd like to change or keep the same. At some point during the mediation, I feel the need to meet with each of you separately to discuss a proposed resolution if things seem to be going in the wrong direction. Again, all the information disclosed between myself and you will stay between us. I will not share your information with the other party. When or if you do reach an agreement, it will be written up and I will ask that both of you sign it. Do we all have a clear and fair understanding of what the proposed negotiation will be? Does anyone have any other questions before we begin?
No.
All set? All right. We will start with Lori, the mother. So what's bothering you about this situation? What is the situation in your eyes?
Well, my daughter, Brittany, I've noticed she's been sneaking out of the house, staying out past curfew, and being hanging out with older boys, multiple boys at one time. And she's only 16 years old, and I've decided to contact the school about different things and seeing if they can try to help out with me, because I can't keep dealing with her sneaking out at night and being with all these different boys.
Is that all? Do you have anything else to say about the situation?
For now.
Or how you feel?
Well, I feel like I need to protect my daughter, and I don't want her being out past curfew. I want to make sure I know she's home safe and not getting into trouble with all these different people that she's hanging out with now.
Okay. And Brittany,
Okay, I'm
the
Brittany.
daughter.
I'm 16 years old. I feel like sometimes my mom just tries sometimes to act more of like friends rather than mother and daughter. So sometimes I feel like I rebel out of that. I'm closer with a lot of like the seniors rather than like other 16-year-olds, just because I feel like I can connect more with them, rather than people my age, just because I feel like I'm more mature than them.
Okay.
But lately, since I've been hanging out with like the senior friends, like none of my people my age want to hang out with me anymore, so I feel like that's bringing a lot into the home as well. And I just found out that my mom made a bunch of fake Facebook and Twitter accounts because she doesn't trust me, which I feel like she should be able to trust me because I don't think I'm doing anything wrong.
Right.
Those boys are just my friends, and I just feel like I don't have any personal space, and I feel like I'm always on a close watch with my mom.
Okay. Now let's talk about you for a second. Now, how are you feeling about what she's saying?
Well,
How do you feel about the Facebook posts?
I just.
What do you have to say
I
about
only did that because I've heard. Because I know you've been like sneaking out of the house, and I only made these to see what you've been doing. So I know you, so I can kind of know you're safe and know you're okay. But the stuff you've been posting on the internet makes me feel otherwise, and that you're not doing what you should.
But
be
you
doing.
should be able to trust me without making those.
But you sneaking out of the house on school nights. I see boys picking up in their big trucks, dirty trucks, and I don't feel like you're safe and you're doing the right thing. So you breaking curfew, breaking my rules of my house, makes me not trust you.
But if you didn't put curfew, I wouldn't have to break any rules. Like
You
it's totally fine.
I can't just let you run free, run wild all the time. There's gotta be some structure in your life. You can't just do whatever you
But
want.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
You
All
are.
I'm doing is hanging out
If
with friends.
if
late
I
at
have
night.
if I have rules and you're breaking them, that's what you're doing wrong. You need to understand that what you're doing is wrong. And that you're hanging out with boys that are 3-4 years older than you and doing God knows what. These you're on school nights. You don't do your homework. I've seen your grades. They're not very good. They're D's and C's. And something's gotta change.
I think I'm doing just fine in school. C's get degrees. Those guys are just fine. They're just my friends. I'm only hanging out with a few people. I just feel more connected with the older people, and those guys make me feel more comfortable than any of like my 16-year-old friends do. And you don't make me feel any more comfortable than.
I'm just doing what I think is right for my daughter, and I'm gonna do that for the rest of my life.
Well, I don't like the close watch, and I'm sick of always being under.
Well, you live in
supervision.
my house, and you're gonna follow my rules.
But I'm 16. I'm old enough.
No, you're not.
I'm old enough to make my own decisions.
No, you're not. And I don't want to see you make a mistake that's gonna ruin the rest of your life.
I think I'm making just the right decisions. I'm hanging out with the right people. I'm happy.
Okay. So let's talk about Cassie for a second, or Brittany for a second. Let's have Brittany have the floor. So, in her time, you can't say anything. Let's just hear what she has to say. Let's talk about the friends. What happened with the friends that made you kind of switch over so quickly?
Well, I feel like I'm open to do more. Like the seniors are always doing more fun things than my 16-year-old friends who just want to like stay in and watch movies all the time. Like.
Okay, these are your older friends
Oh,
doing.
wait, we gotta let Brittany take the floor, okay?
We do more stuff. Like we have more fun. Like I'm able to let loose around them. But when I'm with like the friends my age, like we just sit around all the time and it's so boring. And all of a sudden, like yeah, I would always blow them off or like not return their phone calls. But like it's for a reason. Like I enjoy myself more around the seniors and those 16-year-olds. I feel like I'm just more mature than them.
Okay, so what happened with the bullying situation? Because that could have something to do, maybe, with the changing of the friends. Your old
Well,
friends.
They would bully me because like I was more spontaneous or like wanted to let loose more than them. Like they would always like sometimes leave me out of things, or I would like call them and they would never return my phone calls. So then when I started doing it to them, they got mad because I was hanging out with older people and it seemed cooler. But they started bullying me a lot, so I just kind of went against it all.
Switched over.
And then whenever like
Okay.
it comes to like lunchtime, they never like let me sit with them or anything.
Okay. So Brittany's having trouble with friends. She's not having trouble with friends, but she is choosing a different group of friends than she originally had that you were fine with, correct?
Yep.
And now she's sneaking out and hanging out with boys past curfew, correct?
Mm.
Okay. And
Oh,
you,
yes.
no? Yeah?
Sure.
That's a fact, right? Yes. Okay. And you did find out that your mother was looking through your Facebook.
Yeah,
and
she made a fake page.
She
That's
made a fake
creepy,
page.
and that's overprotective.
And did you accept the request?
I may or may not have.
You just sent everybody that
So
sent
you
one?
did accept it, right? You accepted
Yes.
the request.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
she was able to follow you,
Yeah.
even though the Facebook wasn't a real person,
It wasn't,
right?
it wasn't.
was not
No.
the person
But
that you
either
said
way,
it was.
that's another reason why I can't trust you, because you just accept random people who.
Well, I
Add
thought
on
you
these
were
sites.
someone else. Maybe
Oh,
I
you-
thought you were a senior or something. You said you were
Oh,
a
just
senior
some
on your Facebook.
senior boy or girl that just adds you because you think they're cool.
So, and then for you, you're worried about your daughter. She's
Absolutely,
16
yeah.
years old.
I don't want to see my daughter. I mean,
Have you had any experience when you were younger, when you were in high school? I mean, you were a girl too. What were your
I was a girl,
experiences
yeah.
with? Yes.
I just want to make sure that my daughter is safe at all times, because the way I see her, the road she's going down, she's not. Something is gonna happen that she's
There's
gonna
a-
regret.
Fine line between being safe with like your children and then being overprotective. I feel like
Okay.
you don't give me any trust and like push me over my boundaries. I mean, you made a fake page. That's so messed up.
Because you
could just
break
ask me.
you break the rules of my house.
You make them so easy to break.
So let's get this straight. What are the rules of the house? What
I
are
just
the
wanna-
rules that she is supposed to follow?
Just the one that
specifically?
she's been breaking is the one that she's curfew 11 o'clock.
So curfew's the only rule that she's been breaking.
Yeah,
What
which
about-
I think is one of the biggest rules.
But
Okay.
that's what my friends
Hanging
are
out,
at
hanging
night.
out with boys that are older than you, a lot older than you, that you don't know them that well.
Well, the seniors hang out later at night versus 16-year-olds, so I have to break the rules.
You don't have to hang out with them every day. There's no reason why you can't hang out with your friends your own age.
But they won't let me hang out with them, and that's fine because I feel like I'm more mature than them anyway.
What are you gonna do when these seniors graduate?
Find other friends.
So let's talk to Lori for a second. So the curfew, what's the curfew in your house?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
She's only 16 years old.
Okay. Well, what's the law, the curfew in your town?
I don't know.
You don't know? I'm thinking it's 10 o'clock. I'm pretty sure it's 10 o'clock.
Okay, and I have significantly made that longer for my daughter,
Okay.
who is 16.
Okay. Okay. What about grades? Are there any
Yeah.
rules on grades
Well,
in the house?
I'm not gonna punish her for doing bad in the class that I know she's trying in, but I can tell that she does not even try in class.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen her grades. I've talked to her teachers. I've talked to teachers about her and these situations with the bullying and things like that, and they say that she's not showing any signs of trying or doing her work on time.
I
Oh, so
do
you.
try.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Okay, so let's keep Lori on the floor here. You said that you told the teachers about the bullying situation. What was that?
No, the teachers. I contacted teachers about my daughter. As I saw her grades were starting to slip, and then they knew about the bullying as well as I did that I saw, because they've heard.
They knew before
Yeah.
you.
Well, I don't know who knew first, but we both knew about it because they brought it up to me, and
So they knew
they
first.
thought that might have been one of the causes of her grades getting worse.
Slipping.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they make it a huge deal with the bullying? What went
They
on with
wanted-
that?
They just wanted to ask me if I knew anything about it, and I told them I've seen things on the internet about it, and I was worried because I think that she's just trying to like rebel against her friends that were being mean to her, and just hanging out with older kids to show like that she can, and she's someone that she's not.
Okay. So that's been brought up, but no big decisions have been made.
No,
It's
we haven't
just
done
a
it.
known
Yeah.
fact in the
Yeah,
school?
yeah.
Okay,
I-
so it's
from what I
not
hear,
a
everyone
big
knows
problem yet.
I mean,
Correct.
bullying is a problem. I mean, even the littlest bullying is a problem, but
Right.
they haven't really came up with a solution for it or talked to Brittany about it.
Okay. So it hasn't been brought to anyone's
Right, and
full
I haven't-
attention yet.
Yeah, I haven't really talked to her about it too. I just kind of wanted to sit down here and see what she had to say about everything.
Okay, so let's move back to Brittany and let her take the floor, so no one else can speak besides Brittany about this situation. So let's first start about the bullying and how it got brought up in school. How did you feel about that?
Well, they were bullying me at school, and I guess it kind of affected my grades because that's all I would ever think about, or I would always try to talk to them in class, always try to make an effort, and they would ignore me. And that's why I started hanging out with like seniors too, is because no one else would talk to me. But otherwise, I feel like I was doing okay with my grades. I mean, C's are okay, but I guess the bullying did affect a little bit.
Your grades and
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you can hang out with anyone else in your grade?
No, because I feel like they've disclosed everyone from me. Like I can't talk to anyone in my grade.
Okay. And what has been brought up through the school? Have you talked to any teachers or any
Teachers have tried
administration?
talking to me about it, but I just kind of ignore it because I just talk to my older friends about it instead.
How many times did that happen?
It's just a few times, maybe with like a counselor or a teacher here and there.
Here and there. So like 2 or 3?
Yeah.
2 or 3 times. Okay. And how do you feel about the Facebook postings that you were posting? So your mom found out about the Facebook and what you were doing throughout your social life, but that was because you were posting them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you were posting the things that were going on so people could see, right?
Yes.
And then your mom saw.
Because she added me on a fake page, which she shouldn't have done.
Right. Okay.
But all my friends deleted me on Facebook too, all the 16-year-olds. So.
They all
It's
deleted
kind
you.
of- Mhm.
Okay. So, how do you guys feel together about it? What do you?
Well, she's never really tried talking to me about the bullying situation with the younger kids.
So this is the first time that you brought it up, correct?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So-
Is there a reason why you didn't bring it up before?
Because I knew that she wouldn't talk about it, and I think since we're here, we more open about things, and she would open up to me and try and tell me what is going on with her. Because I know the daughter I knew wouldn't be doing these things, posting stuff on the internet about how she's hanging out with all these guys and being bullied by her friends.
But why can't I post about my new friends? No matter what we're doing.
So that's what you need to understand why that's wrong. That's why we're here. You don't understand why what you're doing is wrong.
Let's see exactly what you were doing while you were past curfew during weeknights, correct?
Yeah.
Let's see what exactly were you doing? Who were you with, and how old were they?
Well, it just depends, but I mean, they're all like 18 years old. And
Okay.
it was like a mixture of guys and girls. Sometimes you have like bonfires
And they were on school nights, so you had school the next day.
yeah. So that affects grades too, because in the morning, like sometimes I skip school a lot or like be too tired throughout the day.
Were you ever under the influence? Did you ever do things like that with your older friends?
Maybe a time or two.
Okay, a time or two. So you did do that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Now what was going
May or may
on?
not have.
What was going on with the boys?
And they're just my friends. They're just the ones who have cars and can pick me up late at night.
Past curfew, breaking my rules.
So what were the boys? I mean, the rumors were stated in the school. What were you doing with the boys exactly?
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out?
We were all at bonfires, doing our own thing. Just
Okay.
hanging out.
Just hanging out.
They're just guys. It's no different than girls.
And she said that you were sneaking in her room. What kind of other sneaking activities were you doing that she felt violated? Because she stated that she felt pretty violated.
I mean, me being a mother is if me being a mom is violating to you, then I don't know what.
You put too many rules that you don't trust.
Because you don't give me any reason to trust you.
There's plenty of reason. Just because
Why?
I have older friends.
No. You're breaking rules of my house. You're getting bullied by other kids. You're doing bad in school. Those are all reasons for me not to trust you. And give me some reasons why I
But I'm
should trust
fine.
you.
I'm normal. I haven't done anything.
Out drinking. You're 16 years old. Drinking age 21.
But this is a time to explore yourself in high school and have fun, let loose.
No, I mean, these are your times you got to get hit the books and you want to get into college, and you're on the wrong track, I think.
Well, I have to disagree.
Not yet. Not ready for
I think I'm doing fine. There's no reason for me to even have a curfew. If there wasn't set curfew rules, then I wouldn't be breaking any curfew
that.
rules.
Then you never come home.
I would come home. I come home anyways.
Because I have to call you hundreds of times and ask you where you are and what you're doing and who you're with, and you don't ever answer me.
Because sometimes I don't look at my phone 24/7, but I know I'm always gonna end up home.
Every time you're home, you're always on your phone, just texting away, doing all your Facebook stuff, do whatever you're doing on your phone, Instagram pictures of yourself. You're always on your phone.
That's okay though. Like a phone is my social light. Like
Yeah, that's why I'm calling you, because I know you're always on your phone, but you still don't answer me.
But when I'm with my friends, I'm not on my phone. But when I'm with you, I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay. So now you're just talking in circles right now. You don't know what you're on your phone. Every time I see you, you're always on your phone. I don't understand why you can't answer my phone calls or just
But
come
I
home on
always
time.
come home.
Late.
That's okay. I'm
It's
home.
not okay. So from the time that I'm home, when you leave, from the time you get home past curfew, I'm worried. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're doing. I'm worried.
There's no reason to be worried.
Yes, there
I'm
is, because
just
you're out with older people. They're doing. I don't know what you're doing, and I don't know.
But you've met them.
I don't know. I haven't. Who
I
have I
could have
met?
sworn.
So you've never met any of her friends?
I've met
her new friends
maybe a
before.
few of her girlfriends that are older. I've never met these boys that I see her cruising the town with.
Okay. So the meeting the friends is definitely an issue.
Yeah, because
So we
I don't know who
need
these
to
people
address
are. I don't like my daughter hanging out with boys I don't know or haven't met.
Okay. What does the husband feel? Is he present?
No.
I got daddy issues.
Oh. Okay. So it's just you two then in the house. This is
Yeah, it's just me and my mom.
okay.
Mom and me.
Okay. So you guys were pretty close then, huh?
I thought we were.
You said that you acted as more, you acted more as a friend than a mother.
Yeah, because I know it's hard for her, and she didn't grow up without a dad, so I try to be there for her as much as I can. But now that she's getting older,
She
she
was more of a friend to me, and then all of a sudden, when I started hanging out with my older friends, she
'Cause-
went psycho and made this fake Facebook and everything.
because you sneak out of the house, you don't tell. It's hard to know what's going on in your life. I can't be friends with you if you don't communicate with me, which you don't do.
But we communicate at home. Why do we need to talk outside of home?
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you at home about what you're doing, so I know what's going on with my daughter.
I don't see.
I don't know you're fine. I don't know that you're not fine. By the way your schoolwork is and what you've been doing, you're not okay to me.
Well, I mean, I haven't gotten into trouble with anybody at school. I've never
You've been
been
bullying.
suspended.
You've been bullying by kids at your school. That's getting into trouble.
Have you ever gotten in trouble with the law?
No.
Yeah.
Well, except for breaking curfew, I guess. But no.
Okay. So no record or anything like that.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like if she keeps going on at this rate, something's gonna happen. She's gonna get in trouble, and then I'm gonna have to be the one to bail her out of her trouble. And
Okay.
I just want to see her succeed and be safe. That's really why I'm here. I want to make sure.
Well,
you're
I
okay.
haven't gotten in trouble at school yet for a report card or anything. My grades are lower than usual, but nothing's happened yet.
It's just gonna keep happening. Believe me, I know. I understand. I know what it's like. I was your age once. I know what it's like, but I just want to make sure that we can be on the same page, and I know what's going on with you.
Well, I don't see the reason. I'm a trustworthy kid, and I know people doing way worse than me.
She just keeps saying the same thing, and she's not. And we can go in circles all day, but you're not. You still live in my house. You still have to follow my rules.
So we have the rule thing going on right now.
Yeah, well,
so
she
it's
just
definitely
keeps
a big
breaking my rules,
factor.
and I don't know what else I can do, or what I don't know what else I can do with you. It's hard for me to see you just breaking the rules and not talking to me anymore, because we used to talk all the time.
There are a million rules that you have set. I have to follow every single one.
Yeah.
A million rules? How many rules? Because she said that
Chores all the time.
What kind of chores have
Okay.
you done? Taking walking the garbage can out on Sunday nights. That's a chore to you.
Dishes.
I do the dish. You put your dirty dishes in the sink, and I do them.
Laundry.
I do the laundry. You put your dirty clothes in the hamper, and I do the laundry.
I dust.
You don't dust nothing. What do you?
I take the
collect
dog-
dust. That's what you do. You collect dust in your bed in
I walk
that
the
dirty
dog
bedroom.
all the time.
Yeah, and it poops in the house still. When do you have time to walk the dog?
After school, when I get home with my friends,
Oh, at 2 a.m.
play with the dog. I do chores.
No, you
I have to freaking be home so early.
God forbid you gotta be home and go to bed for school on school nights.
Then I have to wake up for school. It's so many. It sucks.
Doing daily things is not chores. Waking up, going to school are not chores. Those are what you do. It's your. You don't have a choice.
It's just, there are so many rules in that household. I can't wear shoes in the house.
You want to
It
clean?
is
You
so
don't clean the
much.
house. You just dirty the house. I clean it. So I want to make sure that I have less things to do. So you don't do anything for me.
Well, I don't agree, but
What do you think that you do in the house that is helpful to Lori here?
when my mom has to do laundry, like I put all my dirty clothes where they need to be. I separate blacks and whites and colors.
Okay. Is that every single time?
Yeah.
That's nothing. It's so little of a thing that you don't even do it right. You
She
still don't.
doesn't do it right?
No.
How does she do it?
She just throws everything in. I asked her, can you just please split up your colors from your blacks and whites? And she says, yeah, sure. I get the thing. It's all one big pile of clothes all in my laundry room, and I have
But
to
they're
sort it
all-
myself.
It's totally separated.
So it's a matter of efficiency.
It's
is
a
what
matter
you're
of her
saying.
not doing anything, but coming home late and doing God knows what with these older boys, getting bullied by her friends.
It's not my fault that I'm getting bullied. I mean, it may not be, but
Oh, it might be though.
So how do you feel about the bullying situation?
well, I'm still hurt by it, but I'm hanging out with new people, go to school, follow mom's rules. I talk to mom
You
still.
don't follow mom's rules. You don't talk to your mom. And I'm saying it hurts my feeling that you don't want to talk
You
to me
never
anymore.
ask me about what happens or anything.
Because I can't talk to you. I say, well, where were you? And you just give me either no answer or you just go on some tangent about why I'm nagging you and I'm just being a mother.
Because you always ask me where I'm at.
Why don't you
Always.
start giving me answers and I'll stop asking. Or start coming home on time and I won't ask you anymore.
Alright, so now I'm going to ask each of you how you feel about what each other said. So, Brittany, how do you feel about what your mom what your mom thinks of
Well,
the
I
situation?
guess I feel bad because she feels like I never talk to her about anything, which I guess is true because I don't. But she just always is down my throat about everything. I'm not a bad kid. I don't do drugs or anything. I just have to go out late and have a good time.
Okay. Is that all? Okay, how do you feel about what she's been saying? Like her side of the story, how do you feel about it?
When it comes down to it, I said before, you're 16 years old and you live in my house and you have rules to follow, and if you don't follow them, I haven't even punished you that much at all.
I've been grounded,
And you did what?
and I may or may not still go out.
Yeah, she still would sneak out of the house. I don't know how I can control her, and so even
But I still get grounded all the time.
what I think
Let's hear it.
what I think she's doing wrong, she doesn't think it's a problem, that's the problem right there. I think it's what she's doing wrong, but she has no idea. It just goes over her head. She doesn't understand what she's doing is wrong.
Okay, is that all?
Yeah.
How long is the grounding? What is the
Well, I
grounding
mean,
situation?
it's hard to control her because I tell her she's grounded, she can't go out, and then there she goes, 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, she's just gone. You go in her room, she's gone. So I don't know what else I can do.
Have you ever tried calling the police if you went in her room and she wasn't there and you were nervous and then she wasn't answering the phone? Did you ever call the police or call neighbors or what? How did you approach that situation?
I feel that's a little much because she does always come home at some point in the night, which is just doesn't make me happy. But I don't feel like I need to bring
It's a danger
Yeah.
situation.
until That's the only thing I don't want that to happen. I hope
Right.
that doesn't happen. And it does scare me when she's gone, but I don't know if I need to contact the authorities about that.
So it's hard to tell
Right.
if it's a dangerous situation or not, and you don't know if you want to make it.
I don't want it to happen to where she does get hurt or something happens to her and I don't know about it.
Right.
So that's why I want to know where she's going,
Okay.
where she is at all times.
All right. At this point, do you have any other statements you want to make to each other?
Pretty much got it all on the floor.
Okay. So right now we're gonna do the caucus. So Lori, if you want to leave the room, there's a nice room over there with a vending machine and some water fountains. You
Who's
can
paid for it?
enjoy your. No, we pay for it.
Okay,
You're all
cool.
set.
What's that?
We'll call you back in here when needed.
You gotta push really hard.
All right. Okay. So, Brittany, is there anything else you want to say? Everything in this situation, anything that you say to me will not be explained or talked about anywhere else throughout the day, throughout any of the other encounters I have with your mother or anyone else.
Okay, well, we're dealing with my grades. I have gotten written up a few times. I keep hiding the report cards.
Okay, written up.
Because she just has so many rules, and the last thing I need is her freaking out more about my grades. I know they're low, but I just don't want her to see my report cards. And I mean, my mom dropped out of school when she was young. She won't tell you that, but she dropped out when she was young. So I feel like she just is concerned with me making the same mistakes, but that's not my fault that I am doing what I'm doing. I like my older friends. Although sometimes I miss my friends my age, but she dropped out, so I don't see why she keeps freaking out.
Okay. Why doesn't she like to talk about it?
Because she's embarrassed, that she doesn't want me to, because she feels like she was a failure, that she dropped out of high school.
How old was she?
17.
So she was close to
So
your age.
I think she's worried that, like, maybe next year or something, I will do the same thing. But it's stupid, because I'm not going to make the same mistakes as her. But she just never trusts me or anything.
Okay. What's your motivation level in school?
Not very high.
Not very high. So, I mean, you're making it to next year, and the school year is almost over. How do you feel about your motivation for next year? Is it going to be different? Is it going to be the same? Are you going to try harder?
I just feel like a lot of my motivation left when I stopped being friends with my people my age. So then I feel like when the seniors leave, then I'll really have no one. So I'm not really sure how my motivation will be next year
Okay.
or the years to come. So I guess I kind of get where she's coming from, but she's just always nagging me. It has to stop.
Okay. About the written up part, how did you get written up? Is it because you were tardy? Did you get written up like detention?
No, like report card, like, I've been getting D's and F's. I haven't gotten a C in a long time.
So
I've been hiding.
you've been hiding it.
I
Okay.
get to the mailbox
So
earlier than she does when she gets home, so I take it out of the mailbox and I hide it in my room.
doesn't she realize that they're gone, or does she just
I
not
just
really
don't think she knows.
notice? Okay. Well, it's been all year, hasn't it? So she hasn't gotten one report card, and she hasn't said one thing, correct?
No, she just keeps nagging that I'm not doing well at school. That I'm like
How
never
does she know?
motivated to go. She knows, like she's gotten calls from my teachers being like she's been texting in class or not paying attention, but she doesn't know that my actual grades.
Okay.
She just knows that I'm not as good as I was last year.
All right. What about your friend's situation? Let's talk about that for a second. So what actually happened? What are you willing to disclose about the friend situation? What actually happened that made your friend stop talking to you, or you talking to them?
Well, I think they started disowning me because I started drinking and smoking on the weekends with like my older friends. I
Okay,
had
so you
one-
have been under the influence,
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yes, I had one senior friend who I became really good friends with in class, and that's when that was like the beginning of it. Like she introduced me to all of her friends, and then like all those guys too. And so then I started like hanging out with them more, and like friends my age don't do any of that stuff because I mean, obviously they're younger access to it.
Okay.
So they started bullying me when they like started calling me like a slut and like disgusting and trashy and all that. It's basically a lot of name calling because I do different things than them now. So it sucks that like they never talk to me anymore, and when they do, it's really mean, or I get like shunned a lot. Like when I go to lunch, I have no one to sit with. I just sit with like random people. I don't really have any friends in my grade, so that's why on the weekdays when my older friends ask me to go out, I always say yes because I have nothing else to do, and I'd rather break the rules than just sit at home and do nothing.
So that gets pretty lonely, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you could do differently to change the situation with your friends?
Well, I would think I'd have to stop hanging out with the older friends, but they still are my friends.
So
But
your older friends are
I
still your friends?
I guess I do get peer pressure with them a lot.
Okay. So it doesn't make you as comfortable as you would be with your old friends?
Yeah.
How do you think you could get your old friends back with having both friends? Do you think there's a little loophole you can make in between there?
Maybe somehow, maybe I just give like all my weekdays to like my good like friends my age, and like a night or two with like my older friends.
How do you think they'd feel about that?
I feel like my older friends would kind of say mean things to me about it, but I feel like people my age would be like more okay with it because I was like slowly starting to like ditch them.
Okay. So you were ditching them, and then that also kind of took them back,
Mm-hmm.
and were kind of threatened by you hanging out with older kids.
And like the older kids only ever hang out past my curfew, but I don't want to sit at home and do nothing.
Okay. What makes
So I
you
have no one.
right? What makes you want to sneak out all the time? Why don't you feel like you can tell your mom? Because it seems like your mom and you and your mom had a really good relationship, like friends. So why didn't you feel like you could tell her?
Well, she gets worried when I'm with other guys. But I do have a boyfriend who's older, but I'm scared to tell her.
Okay, how long have you two been dating?
Like 3 or 4 months.
Have you guys had sexual relations?
Yes.
How long has this been going on?
3 or 4 months.
So the sexual part has been going on
Mm-hmm.
the entire relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And he's aware that you are underage, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why I never tell my mom anything anymore because I'm scared she'll get really, really mad or like call the police or something.
Okay.
So I have to sneak out and all that.
Do you think that your mom's just doing it to protect you and
Yeah,
protect
but she
you
just
from what
gets
could possibly
overwhelming,
happen?
especially with like the Facebook stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll try and nip that in the bud, the Facebook and the Twitter
Mm-hmm.
and the whole trust issue,
Mm-hmm.
because that obviously is happening because she can't trust you. Correct.
Correct.
What about the boyfriend? Would you tell your mom about the boyfriend?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
Maybe partial.
What do you feel comfortable telling your mom that you told me in confidence? That
Report
when
card.
the report card, so the grades,
And then I'm like lonely. I feel like I can't talk to her about
can't talk to her.
bullying.
Okay. And what about the alcohol and the drugs?
More or less. Maybe that I've tried it once or twice. I don't think I'd tell her I do it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Is that all you have to say about it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then I'm gonna have Lori come in and hear what she has to say, and then I'll call you back when
Okay.
we're done.
Am I pulling more in?
Yes. Great job. Lori. You're
Well,
playing.
it's your turn. Go here.
Lori, welcome back.
Thanks.
You okay, Lori?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I just spoke with your daughter.
Yep.
Now I want to hear what you have to say. Anything that you say to me will not be released to anyone at any given time. This is between you and I. And after our conversation, it'll never be spoken of again.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
So, how do you really feel about this situation? What's really going on with? What do you think was really going on with Brittany?
well, all I know is like I know what she's kind of going through because I was kind of the same way when I was her age.
So in what way were
Like,
you her way?
I broke the rules. I went out and I know I did some drugs. I smoked some pot when I was in high school.
Okay.
But like I just know what she's going through. I know what my mom didn't do for me, and now when I'm older, I wish she would do. So I know what she needs right now, and I know what I know how she's acting is kind of the same way I did. I kind of want to like nip that in the butt before
Right.
anything bad happens because I had my daughter when I was 17 years old. I was
17 years old.
yeah, so I know I don't want. And I'm not saying that ruined my life, but it changed my life. So it could have been my life could have been different, but I am where I am, and I also have never really talked about her having sex with these boys. And I haven't talked to her about that, and I found condoms in her room, and I haven't. Yeah, and
Okay.
it's sad because I don't want her to do what I did. I want her to have a full life, and I want her to have all the opportunities and experiences that she can.
Right.
And I know she thinks that her hanging out with all these guys and these older people are her experiences for her life, but she has so much of her life ahead of her that this is only really small.
Okay. So, how do you think? Do you know that Brittany knows about your mom and how you and your mom
No,
didn't have a good relationship?
I haven't talked to her about any of that.
Okay.
No.
So when you say that you and Brittany had a real or used to be like friends,
Right.
what did that friendship entail?
She would tell me what's going on. You know, the girls gossip with her friends and all and those kind of things. But now that she's hanging out with these friends that she used to have don't talk to her anymore because she would just ignore them and she wouldn't associate with them after she was with these older kids. They don't talk to her anymore and they I guess they're mean to her, which makes me sad. I
Right.
don't want to see my daughter being hurt or being bullied like that.
Right. Exactly. And would you tell her that you found the condoms?
Would I?
Yeah. Would you disclose that information to her? Because I think that there needs to be a little more openness between you two for more collaboration
Yeah,
to
I
happen.
think that's got to come out. I think I need to tell her that I found those, just so I can tell her that like what
How you feel on the situation.
what she's doing could be hurtful to her. Something could happen to her that could change her life and that she doesn't want to happen at this age, like happened to me.
Right. Well, you might want to include also, it might be easier, maybe mention something about you and your mom and your situation so that you can kind of relate to her and explain why you want to have such a good relationship with her, why you want to have her do all these things such as chores because you want her to have a good life. But not only tell her that, but you also want to let her know that why. And it was because of your past relationship or past experiences with it. Do you have anything else to say on the situation or anything else you want to disclose just between you and I that you haven't really had a chance to talk to Brittany about? Because I know that
just really that I was the same as her. I really don't want her to know like I was like that. 'Cause I don't want her to think that it's okay because what I did wasn't okay. I made mistakes and that I regret, and I don't want her to have any regrets. So I don't want her to think just because I did that she could do the same thing. But I also want her to know that she needs to start like that I have found those condoms in her room and that she's that I hope she's using them. If she's gonna be doing what she's doing, I just don't want her doing that. She's so young and I don't know, she had all the time in front of her to be doing stuff like that. Not when she's 16 years old.
What are your suspicions?
that she is having sex with these guys. And
So, because she did state that she wasn't, so you're suspecting that
there's
she
no
is,
reason for her to
right?
have these condoms because I've seen them in her room, I've seen
Okay.
them in her backpack. So I think
Room and her backpack, so
Yeah.
2 different places.
yeah, I've seen
Okay, so it's been a reoccurring thing.
yeah. And
Okay.
it's
So you're suspecting that she is having sex.
yeah.
Are you suspecting anything else when she's?
Well, I mean, she's got. I think I smell alcohol, in like when she wakes up in the morning. I've smelled it on her, and that just it breaks my heart. I don't want her to be doing these things this young. She has all. I don't know. She has all life ahead of her, and she's kind of just throwing it down the drain right now. And the thing that bothers me the most is that she doesn't think what she's doing is wrong.
Right.
Which I think is bad. If she doesn't understand what she's doing is wrong, then I don't know if she's ever going to understand. So something's got to happen to her for her to really realize what she's doing. So
Did you ever feel like you wanted to say something but didn't?
yeah,
When-
a few times
Okay.
that she came home.
Like
And,
what?
Like in the morning, I kind of wanted to tell her that I knew what she was like drinking and that I found these condoms in her room, but I just never got the courage to say anything to her. I think I need to bring it up to her.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's get. Is that all you want to say? Is that all you want to disclose to me?
Yeah, that's.
Now, what would you like to say? What would you like to disclose to Brittany that
I'd
you
like to tell her
disclosed to
about
me?
what I found in her room and that I know that she's been using alcohol.
So you want to talk about the condoms and you want to ask if,
Yeah.
or you know,
And
explain.
I kind of want to ask. I want her to be honest with me. And I want her to tell me like, it's okay for her to be honest with me because we're in a safe environment right now. So
Right.
she should tell me what's going on, and that I'm not gonna get mad at her. And that way we can fix and find ways to get this thing going back on a good track for me and my daughter.
Okay. So honesty is a big thing right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's get her back in here, and then we can disclose some information to each other. Brittany, feel free to come back. You enjoying the vending machines a little too much back there?
What?
You enjoying the vending machines a little much back there? You having a little snack?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so I spoke with both of you.
Okay.
Alright. So basically, when I talked with you both, I found the biggest issue is honesty and being trustworthy with each other. You guys started off having a relationship that was more friendship than mother and daughter, and it's kind of drastically changed from both of those. And that's hard for Brittany to kind of understand and work with, and it's difficult for you because you're trying to use different techniques that Brittany's not used to. So for both of you, it's just not the easiest thing right now. But we're gonna figure this out. Brittany, would you like to disclose any information that you talked to me about to your mom?
Okay, well, there may have been a report card or two that I haven't told you about.
Oh.
So, Lori, did you get any report cards this year? Did you see any of her grades, any report cards?
The first. They were last year. The last ones I saw were last. I just haven't even thought about that. Seriously, I don't.
Okay,
You've been
so,
hiding.
Report
my
cards, yeah.
God.
Okay, so Lori, you haven't
I can't
seen.
trust you. I can't. I don't know how.
Well, let's just be calm right now because this is an honest environment, and she is telling you things right now that you wouldn't have known if you guys didn't come here. Correct?
Correct.
So we're gonna take it all in. We're gonna so let's let Brittany speak a little bit more about that.
Well, the reason why I didn't tell you about the report cards is because you always freak out about nothing. So I knew if I showed you the report cards and you saw D's and F's, you would be like, oh my god, like, we have a problem.
But those aren't nothing. That's something big.
So I just got nervous and I didn't want to show you because then you would pile that on top of everything else, like always. So I just kept it under wraps.
Is there anything else that you want to disclose to your mom? What did you do a few times?
I drank and smoked sometimes on the weekdays.
How do you feel about that, Lori?
Well, I mean, I figured that she was doing that. It's nice to know that I know what she's doing,
Okay.
but I don't like that how she thinks that hiding a report card that has D's and F's on it is nothing, and how I overreact over something like that because that's a big deal for you to be failing classes.
So your biggest concern right now is her failing classes,
Just
her
that she lied about it,
taking
and then-
right, taking the report card and
And-
stealing it from you.
Yes, and drinking alcohol, doing drugs, because drugs, no matter what kind of drugs they are, they're illegal. And alcohol, you're nowhere near old enough to be consuming alcohol, and it's not okay. It's wrong.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say while you're on the floor disclosing information?
One more thing. This is the last thing. I have a boyfriend who's been picking me up late at night. Ta-da! But we do hang out with other people.
Something all the time.
Yeah.
It's not just you and him. How old is he?
18. So there's that.
So you have a boyfriend that you've been dating for 3 months.
3 months.
Oh, yeah, she said that. Okay.
3 months.
She-
Surprise!
Yeah, it's okay. She's been dating him for 3 months. He's 18 years old. So how do you feel about that?
That's a lot on one plate.
That is a lot for me to handle right now because I didn't know he had a boyfriend, and I didn't know he was that old. And you should have told me. I don't know why. Why would you tell me that?
Because you freak out about everything. Every little thing I do, you like turn it into this huge explosion.
All right. Well, let's go to Lori and see what she wants to disclose, and then we'll try and figure out a solution to all of this, all these topics. So, Lori, between what you and I talked about, what would you like to disclose to Brittany that you think she should know that you haven't told her yet?
That I have found condoms in your room and in your backpack,
Oh shit.
and that
Well, it's just the one guy, so it's fine.
I hope it's just one guy. It shouldn't be any guys. And you're only 16 years old. You shouldn't be doing that to yourself or letting guys do that to you.
Would you like to disclose any more information that we talked about, you and I? Maybe previous past.
Yeah. I just know from experience because when I was your age, I knew my mother didn't really do anything to try and stop me from making any mistakes. So I just want to kind of be more of a mother to you than my mother was to me, to make sure that you don't make any mistakes and that you have every opportunity in your life and you're not wasting it at this. You're only 16 years old. You have a ton of life in front of you, and just so that you don't make any mistakes now that will jeopardize the rest of your life.
Okay, and you both understand what each other is saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and knock off the friends part. So you have had difficulties with friends. You had a very drastic change. So going about what we said earlier, do you want to do you want to have a conversation with your friends and talk to them about what you told me and how you want to hang out with the old friends more because the new friends are a bad influence on you, correct?
Because I miss my old friends.
You miss
And
your old
I'm-
friends.
I feel bad for making my mom worry all the time. So I feel like I need to talk to them. But I also like my old new friends too.
Okay,
So
but
find
the
like a
new
happy
friends,
medium.
the new friends are a bad influence on you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you know that going into it.
Yeah.
And possibly hanging out with your old friends could bring better grades, things like that,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, if they're willing.
To work on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think both of you have to work on it. So maybe you guys can all have a mediation together that you can that I can put together for you. So let's go ahead and do that. And that way the friend situation can hopefully be resolved. With the boys, let's talk about the boyfriend.
At first I want to meet this young man. I'd like to just kind of see what he's like, because if he's gonna be dating my daughter and he's gonna do other things with my daughter, I'd like to know this boy.
Okay.
I'd like to meet him.
I mean, you have to be nice though, because I know you can get stuck up and moody. Okay.
I think Brittany should also understand that because she's 16 years old and her boyfriend is 18 years old, there is a possible
Legal
issue.
if he-
So that should just be put out there, just letting Brittany know
I
that.
kind of would like to meet his parents and see how they feel about their son dating a younger girl, and if they're okay with it, and what I don't know. I just want to find out what's going on with you guys, and I want to know more about what's going on with you.
Okay, so you're gonna set up a meeting time with this gentleman
I'd like
and
to, yeah.
have some discussions with him and kind of tell him your expectations. All right. Let's talk about the curfew. So
You have to be easier on me on the curfew.
well, let's find a medium because
I think-
you want to stay out on the weekdays and she wants you to stay out.
Every night is 11 o'clock, and it's so annoying. It's like on the weekends, I'd like to be out later.
Well, now that I know what's going on with you and what you've been doing, I'd like to make it earlier.
But what if you meet him?
You're still told me you've been doing drugs and you've been drinking alcohol and doing things like that, which are not okay. So I think I'd like you home every weekday at 10 o'clock.
But then that just makes you want to sneak out more.
So
But I'd like you to understand why I'm doing this. I think you need to understand why I'm doing it so I can keep
Why
you.
can't we just keep it at 11 and I'll stop breaking the curfew?
You have to prove. Yeah, I want you to prove 10 o'clock for me for at least 2 months.
2 months?
Yes, and then.
Not 2 weeks?
Nope, 2 months, and then if you are every day weekday home by 10 o'clock and in bed and don't leave one time, I don't hear your boyfriend's loud motor and loud rap music on my front lawn, then yes, I will consider renegotiating your curfew
Okay.
time.
Fine. I can do that. 2 months, I can do it.
all right, so 2 months of 10 o'clock curfew, correct?
Yep. And after
The boyfriend,
I want to meet him and meet his family.
there's going to be a meeting with him and his family. And Brittany knows that there is the legal issue there, just out there, so
Make
she's
sure you
aware.
know about it.
What about the phone situation? You not answering the phone?
Well, I won't be hanging out with them as much.
I'd still
But
like you to
she-
answer your phone.
Okay,
She
I'll
pays
keep
for
my
the
phone
bill,
on
so
all the time, and I'll answer.
you're gonna answer every single
So
time.
you have
What
to
if you
understand-
don't? Then there
You
has
have to
be.
understand that maybe I do miss a call.
Oh, I understand that, but when I call you at least 5 or 6 times and you don't answer and I text you and never respond, that's can't happen. I understand once or twice you miss something, yeah, it happens, but not every single time I call you.
Okay, fine.
I think if you don't answer your phone, then that's just going to make it harder for me to bump up your curfew.
Okay, I will answer the phone every time. I might miss a call or two, but
Oh,
I'll
I
answer
understand
the
that,
phone
yeah,
every
that's
time.
going to happen.
Okay. So the phone, and then lastly, what about the grades?
I will pay attention more in class.
I want to see you at home doing homework in the living room or the kitchen. You can't be in your room watching television.
So-
your phone, everything, computer's got to be in your room, and you got to be out doing your homework.
Okay, everything's got to be in the room.
I want to make sure your stuff's done before you can go to your room, before you can actually ever go out and do anything.
Okay.
I know it sounds strict, but I'm only doing this just to get you back on track and make sure you're making the right decisions and not going down the wrong road.
Now, what about the honesty between you two? How about we
Like
set
the
up an
Facebook
information?
posts?
Okay, so the Facebook and the Twitter.
Well, I
But
want.
there's the open honesty.
Yeah.
So I think you guys should have a meeting time every, once a day, or maybe
Once a
once
day,
every
like-
2 days, whatever.
I want you to just kind of report to me and what's going on with you and what's. And
Have an honest
Yeah, and I agree.
circle.
I think that what I did with the Facebook and the Twitter was a little overboard, but I think I did it for the right reasons to make sure that you're okay and not doing anything wrong. I just want to make sure you're safe. But if you are more honest with me and you communicate more with me, I think I can be more lenient in things.
So are you going to delete the Twitter and Facebook once you
Yes.
feel that you're
Once I feel like what you're doing, that you're back on
track?
or if you just talk to me, you just tell me
If I talk to you, you delete the Facebook and the Twitter.
yes.
Okay. That's creepy.
So talking and then deleting the Facebook and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the alcohol and drugs, lastly.
You gotta stop.
Okay.
And I would have a drug test. I will need to drug test you once a month
Oh my gosh.
to make sure
For
you're
how long? For how long are you
until
going to
I
drug
feel
test
like
her?
until she passes I think she needs to pass at least 5 or 6.
5 or 6 drug tests.
Yep. Yeah, and
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I get where she's coming from. So.
Okay.
But the drinking's kind of normal. Like,
Drinking-
why can't I have a drink on the weekend?
Because you're 16 years old.
But I'm in high school. It's totally fine.
It's not fine.
Well, she has some good reasons. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's do that for 5 or 6 times.
I just
See how that works.
I don't want you drinking alcohol.
All right, I'll stop.
All right. Does everyone feel content with what we've got down? Does
I-
anyone else want anything else? Do they want to say anything else? Do they feel content with everything?
I feel okay with these.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you both sign this then.
Figure it out.
All right. There you go. Brittany, you're agreeing to these terms, which we have all put together. And Lori, very nice signature. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys on the job you've done. Just a few reflection questions. How did the session go for you guys today? How did you feel?
It went smooth.
It's a little shaky at first, but I think that after she understood where I was coming from and why I'm doing all the things that I'm doing, that it went well, and I'm happy with the decisions that we came up with.
Good. Good. How are you feeling about the work you did today? You
Good.
feel content?
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah, you feel like we
got a
got-
lot done.
Good. Good. Is there anything else you want to say to me or each other?
Sorry, Mom.
It's okay.
Y'all made up now?
Yes.
Yep.
Good. And any thoughts or suggestions about today that you'd like to mention?
Good.
All right. Well, it was great to meet you too,
Thank you.
and I wish you luck on your future endeavors. Super.
Super duper.